Hello and welcome to another week of the very best in showbiz from Africa and beyond. This is Trendz and I am your host, Refilwe Mwilwa. In your headlines this week, African fashion designers showcase their collections at this year's Zambian Fashion Week. The South Africa-UK project season is in full swing in London and South African artists are making their presence felt. And South Africa's first big-screen Afrikaans animation hits cinemas today. Now, tomorrow, the Johannesburg Zoo in Parkview will be transformed into a magical wonderland in celebration of the American holiday, Halloween. It's not about trick-or-treating, though. It's the Nick or Treat Festival with plenty Halloween fun to be had by the entire family. I'm now with Head of Channel at Nickelodeon, Tasania. Welcome to Trendz, Tasania.
Thanks, Refilwe.
And tell us about this transformation that's happening. Many people have been to the Joburg Zoo, but I don't think they've ever seen it the way it's going to be, just from reading what I've read.
We're pretty much going to take over the Joburg Zoo tomorrow. So with our partners at the Johannesburg Zoo, what we're doing is we're creating an entire day and even a bit into the night for kids and families. So from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., people can come down to the zoo. There's going to be lots of different activity areas for the kids. One of the key things that we're going to be doing this year in the spirit of Halloween and trick-or-treating is we're setting up Nick or Treat stations around the zoo.
All right.
So kids can literally go up and choose a Nick or a treat and they can travel around the zoo. The Nick is a bit of a trick. Sometimes it's funny, not too scary.
Okay, yes, please.
Yeah, because we'll have lots of little ones over there.
Sure.
We're also going to have our musical performances from Dora the Explorer, SpongeBob SquarePants, and for the first time, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are going to be at the zoo.
Okay, that's just going to be crazy. I mean, you've seen any time the Ninja Turtles perform anywhere, like boys, girls, they just go crazy.
Yeah, and parents as well. There are lots of mums and dads that actually come out just for the Ninja Turtles. And then in the evening, a lot of the more scary stuff will be open.
Okay, and there's also a best dressed competition that's happening in the evening?
Yes, so the best dressed competition is one of the key reasons kids come down for Halloween, and they have the most creative, inventive
so moms
outfits.
and dads, make sure, you know, those outfits are sorted tonight and early tomorrow if possible, but, you know, the kids have to be on point.
Yeah, and what I love is the creativity, because there was a little kid last year who came as SpongeBob, and he found a little box, cut a little hole for his head and colored it, and he was SpongeBob. It was very clever.
Awesome. Okay, wow. And I mean, just Halloween, has this festival happened before this year? This is not the first one, right?
No, we've been working with the Johannesburg Zoo for the last 3 years.
Okay.
But what we thought for this year, let's change up the formula a little bit, and also let's try and take over the day, because it does fall on a Saturday.
Yes, yes. But I mean, with regards to Halloween, not a lot of people in South Africa, you know, really, you know, recognize and celebrate the day. So what is it that this year you're going to do that will just, you know, let people say, look, it's not even about Halloween if you don't want Halloween and the scary part, just come out, have a good time. It's for the entire family, all kids, grandparents, parents, everyone.
I think the main difference with the way we're looking at Halloween is around the dress up and the fun of dress up, because we know kids love that, but also for kids and parents to spend time together. That's been one of our key things at Nickelodeon. So this is a space that we've created so kids and parents can have fun and also enjoy some sweets for a change. We're all about a balanced diet that should be there, but now and again it's nice to have a treat. Awesome,
Tasania. I'm sure the zoo is going to be amazing tomorrow. I look forward to it.
Great stuff. We look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you. I mean, as you heard, Tasania, for a day of costumes, for a day of sweet treats, for a day of a whole lot of fun for the entire family, get to the Joburg Zoo tomorrow. It's the Halloween fun for all at the Joburg Zoo. It's the Nick or Treat Festival from Nickelodeon. Stay with us after the break. News on Morgan Freeman playing God again. And we have Monique Bingham in studio. Welcome back. You're watching Trendz. Following the highly successful South Africa-France seasons project 2 years ago, the South Africa-UK seasons 2014-2015 will come to an end this December. The project is a cultural exchange partnership by the South African Department of Arts and Culture and the United Kingdom's British Council. It connects new generations of creative professionals and audiences in South Africa and the United Kingdom. Have a look.
South Africa's past laid bare. Ubu and the Truth Commission combines puppetry, performance by live actors, music, animation and documentary footage. The historical archive of the hearings of the South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission is intertwined with the use of hand puppets from the Handspring Puppet Company. It all comes together under the direction of William Kentridge, one of South Africa's internationally acclaimed artists for his drawings, films, theatre and opera productions. David Minnar works his magic as Pa Ubu in the lead role.
I've been surprised and delighted with the audiences so far. I mean, it is a small theatre, but still, you know, it's going very well at this point in the run. Luckily, we have another 3 weeks, and then we'll see how it goes.
The first-hand testimonies you hear about police brutality are translated from original languages and accompanied by William Kentridge's dark images.
I threw it over my shoulder and they all ran away. It was left to me to fight for his life.
It's another stress game because, you know, when you're manipulating a puppet and you have to remember your lines, also the movement of a puppet. So there are 3 things that are happening. First is the lines that you have to tell. Secondly, you have to make the puppet breathe. Thirdly, you also to make the movements. So it's kind of, it takes a lot from you as an individual or as a puppeteer.
South Africa and the UK share strong bilateral relations dating back centuries. Over the years, the focus and the emphasis of the SA-UK relations has changed to reflect new realities. At the 2011 Bilateral Forum in London, the two governments felt it was appropriate time to look at the cultural relationship between the two nations.
The Bilateral Forum is part of a regular series of engagements between South Africa and the UK. It presents an opportunity for us to reflect on what we've done and to plan going forward for new activities. The SA-UK season has been a very important component of the arts and culture work stream, I guess, of our relationship, and it's important to recognize how important bilateral relations are for the global community, but most importantly for South Africa, because the United Kingdom is a very powerful trade partner, is a very powerful ally in many things, and obviously, as we've learned from the SA-UK season, an extraordinary partner to expose South African artists to a wonderful market.
This relationship has provided a springboard for South African artists to shine on an international stage.
One of the aims of the project is to really have our young emerging artists interact with their counterparts, say in France or the UK. And by so doing, we're hoping to create, opportunities for them to work together.
Across town in Hackney, the Arbeit Gallery has invited emerging South African artist Nelmarie Dupree to form part of their series of gallery residences and solo shows where the gallery space is transformed into a laboratory. Her exhibition is titled Autonomous Times. It's exciting and thought-provoking.
The comments were really, really good. We started at June with the residency that was open to the public as well. That was part of Hackney Wicked Open Studios Festival, and many people came. It was also streamed live on the Cube, if not mistaken. Feedbacks were really good. We received a few reviews already on the press.
450 participants have benefited from the season's project. 62% have been men and 38% have been women. They have been exposed to various audiences of over 500,000 people. The project has showcased South Africa for the rainbow nation it is, and our diversity proudly displayed in full colour on stages around the United Kingdom. Janine Lee, SABC News, London.
Throughout the month of October, an ambitious festival saw parts of Sandton's central business district closed to cars in an effort to promote more sustainable modes of travel, such as walking, cycling and taking public transport. Rounding up Eco-Mobility Month tomorrow will be a fantastic and free block party featuring the likes of international hitmaker DJ Black Coffee and Mafiki Zolo. I'm now with the operations manager of mobility and freight for Johannesburg, Mr. Sipho Nhlapo. Welcome to Trendz.
No, thanks, Rafili.
Okay, so it's been a month. There's been both kinds, negative and positive reviews from people, especially those who have to be in the Sandton district every single day. What's been the word on the street? Okay,
wonderful. The word on the street has been very positive, neutral to positive. And how are we knowing this now? Now that the month has gone through, fortunately for us, there were about 4 companies that conducted independent surveys on the Eco-Mobility Festival. Because I guess if it was the city saying things, people will say, they're just trumpeting. But we said, okay, IBM, reputable, they did the study in terms of what we call the analytics, the comments and all those things. GCRO, very big in research and surveys. They did another. ARUP, because they had done the study about Sandton before, also did a follow-up study after the Eco-Mobility Festival or during the Eco-Mobility Festival. And some of the things that came out of that, let's start with the IBM analytics as well. There were, because one of the goals for the Eco-Mobility was to create conversation about the sustainability issues, public transport. Right. There were more than 350 million impressions on Twitter about the festival. So that means there was a lot of engagement taking place. That's quite massive, quite unprecedented. In terms of GCRO, if I take one of 2 graphs, they asked people before the festival, what kind of mode did you use to come into Sandton? Obviously, in South Africa, it's a car. Yes. And then during the festival, what did you use? We see a drop from 90% of people to 60% saying they used actual alternative transport modes. Okay. So there was that shift that we wanted. Is that enough? We don't know. We looked at Gauteng numbers. So that is independent as well. Their numbers increased year to year and month to month comparable by 8%. Okay. So that is about 11,000 people. All right. So now, if the target was to reduce about 30% of 80,000 cars that comes into Sandton, and we reached about 15 to 18,000 of those cars off the road, I think on the basis of those numbers, that's what was quite successful. All right, and just a quick summary. Earlier this morning, there was a briefing on, basically the roundup of Eco-Mobility Festival. What was that from the mayor? No, the mayor was highlighting then some of these achievements that we've seen. There's been things that there have been negative sentiments as well. Look, if you send somebody to get out of their car and then jump into a taxi, it becomes a difficult thing in South Africa. The frank reality is public transport in South Africa does not compare with other parts of the world. Yes. Yeah. But how is that? The reason it's simple. It was supposed to have been built. It was never built. So we're looking at this thing as a trigger to actually start building a network of public transport that support a city like Joburg. Okay. If you take, for an example, our growth development strategy for 2040, we're saying by 2040, we want a city whereby when you choose to move around it, you either walk, cycle, or use public transport. Right. So we a bit distance to 2040, but we're getting the trigger that's saying this is where we need to go, because the best cities across the world, this is the kind of mode of developing. And this is an international city. Certainly. All right. Just to round up, the block party tomorrow. That's going to be busy and hectic. There's sports, there's everything for everybody. Tell us about it. The block party now, the question that we've been calling this a festival is because during the week we'll disorganize you a bit with your car, but every weekend we'll pick up with an event. Okay. So there's been a number of events every weekend. Yes. So the last one that we are having, which is tomorrow, starting at 12 o'clock, it's the Eco-Mobility Block Party. Okay. It's on West Street. With free. Okay. Black Coffee, Mafiki Zolo, a number of local DJs that will be supporting the act. Wow. Nice food there. Bring your friends. It's going to be one wonderful space to be in so that we can own the streets in Sandton. Okay, wow. Thank you so very much, Mr. Sipho Nhlapo, the operations manager, seeing to mobility and freight in Johannesburg. We'll be looking out for what you guys are doing come 2040. We need to get Johannesburg on par with other cities in the rest of the world. Thanks, Rafiki. Thank you very much. Wonderful. Now imagine a crime-free society and country. A no-crime culture project was launched at the beginning of this month in Gauteng in efforts to eradicate crime in the country. Every collective effort goes a long way. The project is supported by the Departments of Justice, Education, the National Lottery Board and local celebrities.
South African celebrities as well as artists have come together in the fight against crime. They have done this through a project called No Crime Culture. This initiative launched in Krugersdorp earlier this month aimed at changing the culture of society, teaching them to fight against crime. Organizers of the project believe this goal can be achieved through different tailor-made programs enforced at schools, including community forums. CEO and founder of this project, Yulene Maritz, takes us through this project.
It is a program aimed at increasing the morality in South Africa, the standard of morality, norms and conduct. So it has various legs and methods that we will be using. One of them is an actual program to be inserted in the curriculum, the school curriculum currently, as part of the subject life orientation. So in this regard, we have the support of the Department of Education in Gauteng so far.
Fashion designer Hangwani Nengovela is the director of No Crime Culture. She has been part of the project since its inception. And she has done her part by auctioning some of her best designs during the project's launch. Most of her designs are tailor-made to suit the working class. Her garments have also been showcased at different fashion weeks in the country and abroad. Other celebrities who embraced this event were Mr. and Mrs. South Africa, Miss Earth and Mrs. Globe, amongst the others. This project seeks to have a pageant of its own that will be titled a Justice Pageant, and it will be launched in December.
We have started a Justice Pageant. It's called the Justice Pageant, and we have a Mr., Master, Mrs. and Miss Justice South Africa. This pageant will be launched on the first week of December, and the aim is that we will have 50 semi-finalists for each competition, and these finalists will have to attend a school every week, so they will reach 52 schools per year. In total, that would be 10,400 schools that we will reach, and we will have a general program that they will then present at the various schools throughout the year.
Former Idols runner-up Lloyd Cele also graced the stage with his amazing voice and performance. He was also accompanied by Natalie Ferreira, who is a ballet dancer and from the Ballet Academy.
What an awesome initiative. Stay tuned. You're watching Trends. We're back after the break. Hello again, you're watching Trends. Now in its 5th year, the Jamison First Shot Film Competition is back. Together with Kevin Spacey and Trigger Street Productions, Jamison is once again on the hunt for the globe's most gifted, but most importantly, undiscovered filmmakers with compelling stories to tell. I'm with Sbusiso Shangase, the brand manager for Jamison South Africa. Welcome to Trends, Sbusiso.
Thank you very much on the show.
I mean, this competition is awesome. And one thing about making it in an industry like film, even more so than television, it's cutthroat.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I think fortunately with Jamison First Shot, we're giving young aspiring filmmakers around the world the opportunity to kind of work with the Hollywood A-list celebrity.
Of course.
And people who don't necessarily have the influence or the influential uncle in the Hollywood business. So I think the competition's been running for 4 years now, going into its 5th year. And we're looking forward to finding another untapped and unknown South African talent and showcasing them to the rest of the world.
Oh, wow. And I mean, let's talk about last year. Mark, the gentleman who won. How's this past year been for him? What has he done? Where is his work?
So Mark Middlewick is actually from Johannesburg, a young filmmaker. We fortunately had another South African winner with him going to Los Angeles earlier this year. Had the chance to work with Kevin Spacey as creative director and Adrian Brody from The Pianist, a Hollywood acclaimed actor. I mean, his film was actually one of the better performing films that we've seen for the last 5 years.
Really?
That we've been running the competition.
Wow. So that's also a good testament to 100%. South African filmmakers, because it shows that they're getting better every year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, since then, Mark's gone on to do some work with Nakane Toure, doing a couple of videos for SABC, DSTV as well. So he's doing very well. I think it also shows testament to the quality of South African scriptwriting over the years. I mean, without name dropping again too much, when I was spending time with Kevin Spacey in Los Angeles, he was actually saying quality of South African scripts over the last 4 to 5 years has actually increased immensely over the years, and he's looking forward to working more and more with South African filmmakers.
Okay. Now, one thing about South African filmmakers even is that many times they will end up going to, for example, the New York Film Academy
100%.
to learn screenwriting that side and then come back here.
Yeah.
So with Mark, I mean, has he been trained overseas as well? And, you know, with regards to, as you say, the quality is getting better, is it a case of, you know, those who've gone overseas to study or our schools, you know, the filmmaking schools, are they also on the level?
Yeah, I think if you look at the last 4 winners that we've had from First Shot in South Africa, everyone's been locally trained. No one's got international experience in terms of schooling. Everyone's done the AFDAs, the Wits Film School, etc. So I think it's a huge testament to our South African film industry and the education levels within the film networks as well. The guys in Los Angeles are saying that some of the work that they're seeing could compete with some of the best work in Hollywood as well.
It's just always a case of funding.
100%, 100%.
It makes the world go around.
Yeah, I think with First Shot, we're actually showing the world that we do have the skill within South Africa, and we just never had the opportunity to showcase it to the rest of the world.
Sure.
Jamson First Shot gives our filmmakers the opportunity to say, listen, let's show the rest of the world what we already know we're capable of doing.
Oh, well, awesome. And let's talk about this year. We have actor Maggie Gyllenhaal as part of the loop. Let's talk about her role.
So this is year 5. I mean, the last 4 years we've had Kevin Spacey in year 1 as creative director and lead actor. Year 2 we had Willem Dafoe. Year 3 was Uma Thurman. Last year it was Adrian Brody. This year we've got Maggie Gyllenhaal, not only sister to Jake Gyllenhaal, but also an Emmy and Oscar-nominated actress. She'll be the lead actor with Mr. Kevin Spacey as creative director and mentor.
That must be so intimidating. Like these guys are writing scripts for Kevin Spacey, you know, honorary knight, recently knighted by Her Majesty the Queen, and you know the likes of you know Maggie Gyllenhaal and Uma Thurman. That's brilliant.
Yeah, so I mean the guys have the opportunity to work with Kevin Spacey and Maggie Gyllenhaal, directing Maggie Gyllenhaal with little creative direction and some mentorship from Kevin Spacey.
Sure.
We fly down to, I mean, we have a short list of winners that Kevin Spacey will choose from around the world. For the last 4 years we run a competition, we've always had a South African winner. I'm very confident we'll have another winner this year. They short list down to 3 winners from around the world, and they get flown to Los Angeles, spend 2 weeks filming on set with Kevin Spacey and Maggie Gyllenhaal. And then we fly them back later on in June next year for the global premiere in Los Angeles at Paramount Studios. I mean,
Awesome.
It's
what a
an
launch pad.
Amazing opportunity.
What a launch pad. Details for this. I mean, the competition has been open for entries since the 15th of October.
Yes, so we opened 15th of October, and we're closing entries on the 4th of January.
The 4th of January. Okay, so that's a little bit of time. Yes, and details, it's www.jamisonfirstshot.com.
That's correct. That's
awesome, awesome. I mean, I wish all the entrants, you know, this year all the best. I mean, for giving this chance, you know, Jamison is doing a great job for the South African film industry.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you very much for coming to the show.
Thank you.
Now, South Africa's first big screen Afrikaans animation hit cinemas today. The Afrikaans adaptation of The Snow Queen had quite a unique outdoor premiere and screening this past week on an open field under the open skies. And of course, it was all about the kids.
It was picnic blankets and camp chairs under starry skies with the official Johannesburg premiere of Die Sneeuwkoningin. Hosted by the Pirates Sports Club in Greenside, the event saw families come out in their numbers with their little ones in tow. Die Sneeuwkoningin is the first exclusively Afrikaans animation to be brought to the big screen, and that by South African distribution company Indigenous Film Distribution.
It's about the market for the film, because it really is the type of film that you want to take your kids to. So whether it's granny taking the kids, or mom or dad or sister or friend or cousin, that is the market. So this is a comfortable environment for kids. It's not really plausible to have a premiere where your target market is 80% between the ages of whatever 6 and 13, and expecting them to sit still and keep quiet like one normally would expect people to do at a premiere. So it's suited to the market. It's a fun night out for the whole family.
Gaan soek tussen die mense vir sy erfgenaam.
Dit sal maklik wees. Ek's môre weer terug met die kind.
Hou vas, Gerda, moenie los nie. Sorry, ek wil jou nie meer verloor nie, Kai.
Die Sneeuwkoningin, or The Snow Queen, is based on the original classic fairy tale written by Hans Christian Andersen and centers on the struggle between good and evil as taken on by little girl Gerda and her brother Kai. The animation forms part of a slate of new Afrikaans or African language films hoped to be introduced in the near future.
If everything goes well, there will be 2 more over the next sort of 2 to 3 years, and you know, we'll reveal all of that as we are certain, and as I know for a fact it's the case.
Written and directed by Russian director Maxim Sveshnikov, the feature is produced by Wizard Animation, which is one of the fastest growing computer animation studios in Russia, and co-produced with Bazalevs and Inlay Films. The Snow Queen has already been released in Russia, but it was at Presto Studios in Johannesburg that it was dubbed to Afrikaans and Zulu, using some South Africa's best voice actors.
En 'n towerspreek betoverde skepe in ys verander het.
Gaan soek tussen die mense vir sy erfgenaam.
We have already dubbed this into Zulu as well, so there's a Zulu version available, but that is particularly aimed at television at this point in time. It's about building audience base. I think it would be highly confusing if anybody went out with a film in 11 languages in one country. So we are probably going to have to look at the depth of audience and the language that's spoken in that depth of audience and then make those decisions. What would be ideal, though, is to find a title, and I'm looking for one, that tells a story that suits the particular language. Because I saw with Kumba at the time as well, the film changes completely. When you watch it in Zulu, you watch it in English, you watch it in Afrikaans. The same with this. I've seen the Zulu one, and I've seen the Afrikaans one, and I've seen the English one. It's completely different. It changes the tonality totally.
Stupid troll!
Or, my name is
You're not going to win. And who's going to stop me?
It's been a fun night out under the stars and out in the open with quite a unique premiere for the kiddies movie Sneeu Koningin, which hits cinemas on 30th of October, so do go out and see it. And before it all ends, I think I'll join the fun. I'm Eloise Goebel for Trendz.
After the break, we talk the Melting Pot Arts Festival, and we have a house songstress in studio. Welcome back. In efforts to rebrand and market the city of Ekurhuleni, the Ekurhuleni Melting Pot National Choral Festival, a tribute to O.R. Tambo, begins tomorrow. The rich heritage of South Africa's choral tradition will be on display once again this year for the third installment of the festival at Carnival City. And I'd like to welcome Lisa Mdlulwa, CEO of Melting Pot Arts Festival, to the studio. How are you, Lisa?
I'm very well, thanks.
Awesome. Now, choral music, I mean, that is what, you know, our history and our culture is built on. Talk to us about this festival.
The Ekurhuleni Melting Pot National Choral Festival is a festival that celebrates the lifetime and legacy of O.R. Tambo. We bring these choirs from all over the country and across the borders of this country to come and compete for the biggest prize money on the land. And they give it all out. I mean, at Carnival City, we are all ready to melt because they really, really bring the sounds that really melt our hearts.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, we have choirs from Swaziland, from Lesotho. We have, you know, the Gauteng choristers, Voice of the Nation. Have some of these partaken in the event before, or is it the first time?
Yes, some of them have participated before, but we do have newcomers. We've got the choir from Swaziland, the His Majesty Correctional Services, and also the Seromola Performing Arts Academy from Lesotho. They are competing in this festival for the first time, so they are the new babies, and we are ready to see what they are bringing.
Yes, well, awesome. And what many people might not even know is that much as, you know, O.R. Tambo was, you know, a freedom fighter and very, you know, politically driven, he was also a former school choir conductor. And this is why, you know, the link with him and celebrating him in October has happened with the Melting Pot Arts Festival.
Yes, and to give you a little background, I was inspired by a video I saw in Singapore when I attended a symposium in 2013.
Okay.
So I knew that O.R. Tambo was a choral composer. He used to arrange songs during the times of the apartheid, but I didn't know that he was such a brilliant conductor. So when I came back from the symposium, I said, you know what, we as South Africans are not telling the other side of
And you
his
saw this
story.
video in Singapore?
I saw the videos in Singapore for
I
the first
haven't even
time,
seen
and
it.
I was inspired. I said, you know what, this is a way of inspiring other young conductors, because he is this internationalist that is celebrated all over the world. But through choral music, there's a lot that we can achieve.
Wow.
Yes.
And I mean, the prize money, this is big. 500,000 Rand grand prize. This is big. This doesn't normally happen, I mean, for competitions nowadays where, you know, especially with something as traditional and more not as popular in mainstream society as choral music.
Yes, that is what we're trying to achieve, to change the landscape of choral music, to get people to understand that these singers, I mean, they are graduates, they are music graduates, they are supposed to be getting something out of what they are doing. They used to do it just for the passion, but now we are changing it. That's why we find corporate sponsors. I mean, we have a person who buys a ticket for this show will go home with a brand new car. So people are starting to realize that we are really driving a revolution of changing the landscape of the choral genre in this country.
Oh, wow. And so this is happening at Carnival City. Just give us all the details, and where can people find out more should they need more details?
Okay, it's happening at Carnival City on the 31st of October and 1 of November. Tickets are available at CompuTicket, and you buy a ticket, stand a chance of winning a brand new car. And then for more details, they can check on our website, which is www.meltingpotartsfestival.co.za. But tickets are still available, so people can just go rush.
Sure, tickets are still available, but I'm sure, I mean, it's a 2-day festival. They will be running out fast. I mean, this weekend is just so busy. It's insane. Thank you so very much. Iqisa Mzula, you are the CEO of the festival. Awesome initiative. The fact that you are young and you are female and you are saying, you know what, let's look back in our history and see the things that actually raised our families and our grandparents. They were, you know, custodians of this kind of music, and it's awesome and should be celebrated by all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Iqisa. All right, now a multidisciplinary festival titled African Futures is currently underway at the Goethe Institute in Parkwood, Johannesburg. The festival gives artists an opportunity to explore what various African futures might look like. It also looks at what forms and narratives of science fiction are currently being developed in Africa. It must be so interesting. The 3-day festival ends tomorrow. Have a look.
More than 50 international guests have been invited to the African Futures, and they'll be exploring visions of the future, following potential narratives, artistic expression in literature, fine arts, performance, music, film, and various digital formats.
As a fashion designer, I started through my clothing to interrogate the future as well, and to wonder what would Dakar become, I don't know, in 200 years. What would we be? What would we wear? Who would we be surrounded with? And I think I will keep on interrogating myself and interrogating the future. It's something that is quite, I don't know, something is there, and I feel that my clothing line can contribute to the solution.
The festival promises to give audiences a spectacular show. The futuristic artistry, showmanship, and passion of the artist will somewhat take audiences to another dimension indeed.
And it's so exciting to have this combination of minds coming together. I think what's really great about this is that we're looking at a different definition of what Africa is and what the continent is. And it's not playing into the cliches of poverty or child soldiers or AIDS or famine or disease. It's about inspiring ideas and great minds and doing things differently.
The kick-off event of the festival is a conversation between award-winning writers Nedi Okorafor from Nigeria, Lauren Bjerkes, and Kenyan Binyavanga Wainaina.
I'd like to think that one thing that I write a lot of really powerful, flawed, strong female characters, and I hope that adding those characters to the greater story you know, shows women to be more of what they are. So there's that. I like to write about an Africa, and I'm generalizing about Africa. We know it's a continent, it's big and diverse. But I'd like to write about an Africa in the future because I don't think there are enough images that portray Africa in the future. And I believe that a lot of things that eventually come to pass first start with discussing those things and imagining them first. We have to imagine. A lot of our technology comes from us imagining them in stories first. And so I feel the same way about presenting a future Africa. What will it be like? What is the technology going to be like? All of that just to get the conversation going, just to get ideas flowing. And that's one thing that I don't, it's not that I sit down and think, okay, this is what I want to do, but I think that that's what I hope after what I've written has been done and published and packaged. I hope that that's the effect that it will have.
The last day of the event closes on with a futuristic concert and a party at the Alexander Theatre in Braamfontein, Johannesburg, headlined by German Ghanaian Portuguese collective Gato Preto, who will be playing alongside Nigerian musician Kezia Jones and South Africa's Spook Matambo.
Monique Bingham has been responsible for some of the most poignant, soulful, jazz-infused house music of the past 20 years. She has worked with some of the house scene's most respected international DJs and producers, performing timeless hits all over the world. And even though she might feel that after 20 years she's just getting started, she has been in the game, refining, perfecting her craft. And today I like to think of her music and vocals as smooth as silk, matured red wine, able to transport listeners anywhere in the world. I'm so glad to have you here.
What an
Welcome
introduction.
to the Trendz stage.
Thank you so much.
Wow,
It's
Monique.
wonderful.
And I mean, so I think you basically, this is like your back neighborhood now.
It's
Every now and
second
again,
home.
you're in the country.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm here a couple times a year now. It's
Yeah.
for the last 4 years.
Okay.
And this is one of, if not the biggest market for house music. So
Yes, yes.
if
And
you're
we
in
love
this
your music.
game-
We love your music. I mean,
Thank you.
timeless, as I said.
Thank you.
Till this day, from 2011 or 12, I think. But Take Me to My Love is still in my car.
2012.
personally.
Okay,
I wouldn't
good.
even say, you know what I mean? So, I mean, the people that you've worked with, and you've been in this game, for quite a while. You've grown and you've matured your sound. What is it maybe that you perhaps would tell a younger version of yourself, just seeing how far you've come till now?
Save your money.
What did you do with your money?
Yeah, where did it go? No, I didn't see it.
Yes.
But no, honestly, I would say you have to figure out exactly who you are and what your voice is and stay true to yourself. Ignore all of the flash in the pan trends, not trends
That's
like this.
difficult
But
now,
yeah.
though. That's difficult. I mean, when you started,
It
it
is.
wasn't, the era of
Social
likes and
media.
Twitter
Mhm.
and all the pressure
It's very
to,
tempting.
do whatever and be whoever to just fit in with the mold of showbiz and who you should sound like, for example.
Yeah, it takes, I think, young people, I don't envy this social media world that they have to deal with, even just in their own personal life. But as far as professionally, it's very difficult to just be yourself and ignore that, oh, this one posted this picture of themselves and now they've got all these followers and all this attention.
Yeah.
You really do have to be a little stronger, and really it's about the music and art. And if you hold on to that,
that's all.
Yeah,
that's all you need. Thank you so very much. What are you playing us
Thank
up
you,
with?
baby. I am going to do a new tune off my album, Best of the Last, called
All right.
Deep in the Bottom of Africa with Black
Yeah.
Coffee.
Awesome. And this is your album, basically, that's collecting everything that you've done over
Yes,
the
4
past
new
20
tracks,
years.
but 20 years of music all in one place.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Pleasure to have you here
Thank
at
you for
Trendz.
having me.
And from myself, Rufilo, join me again next week. You're watching Trendz. Monique Bingham.
Thank you.
I used to feel like everywhere I'm the same. I didn't know then what I know now. A race is just a game. It don't get deeper. Oh no, again, no. It don't get deeper. Don't get deeper. Oh, brother, brace yourself, 'cause you will need time. Wrap it in your mind, 'cause you'll never be the same again. Don't ego, go find yourself. Go kneel down. Go kiss that ground. There's nothing gonna really change. No. When it gets deep in the bottom, you can't go deeper. No, in the bottom. It gets deep in the bottom. Deep in the bottom. Can't get no deeper.